The two older children, they come running down the stairs, white, afraid, yelling, "There's a scarf hanging in the hallway." I said, "Where?" I was thinking there's a scarf on the doorknob. "It's hanging in the air, just in your doorway." And they were white, and their little veins popping out in their head, and I was like, "Oh." I said, "Oh, well, it's dinner time, come and eat." "No, we have to come and look." I was like, "No, I'll look later." So we eat dinner, and I get them off that, and just talked a little bit about it. Well, was it there before? When was it there? And he said, "No, it just appeared." So a few hours go by, and we're going upstairs, and they're getting ready for bed, and I thought that we would go up and they would have forgotten about it. And they both right away said, "It was right there, that's where it was, it was right there." Clearly, the both of them saw it. They are affected the same way, and they're both describing it. One wasn't saying she saw it or he saw it, they were both talking about it. So after that experience, and this is just all a matter of a few weeks, then I cleansed the house with the sage and the sending of love and acknowledgement, and it's been quiet ever since.
I believe people get to certain levels of spirituality, and Lisa has opened herself up to, she does Reiki, she's opened herself up to different forms of channeling, and she's often gone inside and bettered herself that way through meditation and things like that. So sometimes I think that Lisa's sort of on a different, it's not a different plane, but she's on a different level of understanding than a lot of us are. And she seems very at peace with herself because of that, and I admire and respect that. We're coming back from school, walking down a really long corridor in the subway, and Lisa did this. Oh, I can demonstrate. Which is like the school thing for don't cross the road. Anyway, I know that there's something wrong. Anyway, she did that to me, and then she says, "My head, I'm feeling very tingly. I'm feeling something's wrong." There's nobody, there's nothing around us until we get to the base of the stairs and I look up. My instinct is to get up there and not sort of be stuck in the corridor. And she's going the other way. So I'm like, come, we'll go up. It's okay, it's okay. She says, "I tell you, something's wrong, something's wrong."
So we're going up these stairs, and she was in front of me, and she's closer to the top of the stairs, and this guy steps out, and he says, "Hi, do you have any money? My brother and I are trying to get to go and see my mom," and he was high, and that was obvious. And then his brother steps out, so now there are two men standing very aggressively in front of Louise, who's now looking up.
He says, "Do you have money?" And it was an intimidating situation because they were there was more of a threat there than just your regular kind of bum on the street asking you for a quarter or a buck.
It was definitely a bad situation.
And I gave him money, and I said to her, "You know, the only reason they got anything from me was because she had the tingling, and I felt that she sensed danger." When I got up to the top of the stairs, I felt that she could be right.
So we hurry to our car, we get in the car, and she says, "Oh my God, if it wasn't for your prickly head, I probably would have given them heck for asking."
Walk by. And I would have. It was
really
so
bad.
not like me. Lisa and I have very strong connection, and if she feels or sees something, or I completely and utterly trust that instinct. I trust it to be stronger and usually more insightful than mine. So,
Louise is what you might call a spiritual pragmatist, sort of like the man who doesn't believe in God, but prays on his deathbed just in case. Louise didn't commit herself to Lisa's beliefs, but she still considered it prudent to adjust her actions on Lisa's say-so. Then just days before she appeared on Ghostly Encounters, Louise felt her daughter was being threatened by a violent ghost.
We've just moved into a 100-year-old house. My friend Lisa came over to smudge the place, so she burned sage and walked all around. And even though, like I said, I'm not that much of a believer, I let her do whatever she needs to do because she believes, and I just want to make sure. And my daughter, who sleeps like a rock and is 6 years old, started waking up the second night we were there and saying she's being pinched. And it freaked me out. And I said to her, well, I think you must be dreaming. And she said, no, she's pinching me. She's pinching me. So then she said, come and sleep with me, Mommy. And I said, no, come in my room and sleep with me because I'm not staying in this room with you. And then the next night, she was sitting bolt upright in bed and she called me and she said she was being slapped and it was hurting her. I was saying to Lisa when I called her, you know, whatever it is, I think it's getting worse. And, you know, I have to do something. So can you come over? And she couldn't, so she told me what to do. I did it.
Some people who are very afraid of something, if something's happening and they're afraid, what you can do and what I do is I surround myself with light. And that's kind of like my shield. And mischievous entities or whatnot can't touch that.
I was petrified because she said, you know, you have to call the spirit forth. And so I went into her room and closed my eyes tight. I said, you know, you're not wanted here. You've got to go towards light. You've got to be free of the house. And then proceeded to visually fill the room and around the house with light. So that's what I was told to do, and I did. And to her benefit, we haven't had any awakening since.
By her own admission, Louise is terrified of ghosts. And the last thing she would want to do is face one and tell it to get out of the house. But her fear was outweighed by her need to protect her daughter and by her trust in Lisa's advice. Still, though it seems that her friends have made Louise a believer, she's not completely won over.
As quickly as I believe something, I can also, as with anything, I can sort of weigh it scientifically or what I would say logically, and I can sort of negate it. And so I have the balance of the two.
I don't think Louise gives herself enough credit in terms of how she's doing in that realm. For instance, she says one thing but does another. On one level, she will explain this away, but she's the one who brought us here.
Lisa says I'm block it, like I stop, and I stop it myself, as opposed to inviting the happening to continue. I push it back. And so I guess if I stopped doing that and opened myself up to it, I might expand the experience and potentially enjoy it, but I don't know.
More layers that you can peel off with certain fears and things. I think it just becomes, you become more open to spot it, to see it.
Everybody has those experiences, and the more open you are to them, the more you can shed that mantle of fear and just choose to put on a different mantle of love and acceptance, and that just being part of the wonderful experience.
I find that Tina and Lisa are often very accepting. You know, they see things and they accept it as a positive. Whereas me with my horror movie background and addiction, if it's there to kill me. Like that's why I suppose I am a little afraid.
The influence of friends goes both ways. The women share a common belief that the world operates scientifically or under predictable laws of nature. But Lisa, and sometimes Tina, extend those laws to the spiritual realm. Many spiritualist movements explain the supernatural world with scientific theories. Theories like all matter is energy. In the end, like the fine balance of their friendship, the women believe there must be balance between the spiritual and the scientific.
And we might be discussing the spiritual end of things, but I think that we also are very clear on the scientific end of things. But the scientific end comes in comes in very
it's just
slowly.
like if the light bulb's flickering, I'll always check the light bulb first.
Yeah, exactly.
Before I go right to, okay,
Right.
everyone, just
Yeah.
settle down for a second.
Yeah,
We've learned well from our husbands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
that's
always
right.
check the light bulb first.
That's right.
What makes someone notorious? Inconceivable crimes
The hair on the back of your neck stands up when you realize what you're watching.
and a passion for publicity.
He enjoyed the attention. He wanted to be on the front page.
Secret schemes and shocking extremes 5 nights a week. Notorious. Monday through Friday at 8. Only on Bio. True story.